Nerd alert, norm of reciprocity. Hi, my name's Ed Riggins, but most people just call me Riggo, and welcome back to Thoughts for Thursday. So if we've been together before, you know I like to nerd out once in a while, and today's nerd phrase, norm of reciprocity, the phrase itself kind of gives it away, right? It's simply the idea that undergirds the whole negotiation process, and it says when you give something, you expect something in return. When you receive something, you feel a little bit of an obligation to give something back to keep things moving. I mention it because sometimes late in the game, people sort of try to go against that norm. Let me give you an example. Some years ago, we had spent months and months negotiating what we commonly call in our world of commercial real estate a letter of intent, or an LOI. Some people call it an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. It's essentially an agreement in writing that says we're kind of done negotiating and it's time to do no more negotiation, but let's do some documentation now and wrap this up. So I get a sheepish call from my longtime contact who says, you know, my boss says we need to make a change in the deal. We'd agreed in writing to put in, let's call it $200,000 to contribute to one element of this deal. And he says, my boss wants to cut that 200 to 100. I said, without hesitation, I said, well, it's funny you should call, because I just got a call from the other side, the rep on the other side, who says he wants to double the 200 to 400. There's a long pause, and he says, are you kidding me? I said, yeah, I am kidding you, but I wanted you to have the experience of violating the norm of reciprocity. I will do, as always, what you tell me to do, but if you go back and try to cut the 200 down to 100, you're essentially inviting them to reopen the negotiation. He said, hang on, let me call back. So he goes and negotiates up, which is what he didn't want to do to begin with, but he did, and we moved on. Just something to keep in mind next time you're in negotiation. Great to be with you. Hope you join me again next week. Thanks.
Doors closing.